into the India versus England Test series. That was, of course, going to be a key series for India because it was up against a pretty tough rival, but also because it was 5 home Test matches, which would potentially offer you a good chance to accrue some World Test Championship points. There was a sudden bolt from the blue when you learned that Virat Kohli had pulled out of the first 2 Test matches, citing personal reasons. But there was an even bigger shock to follow when you realized that Kohli would in fact not be available for the entirety of the series because when the squad for the final 3 Test matches was in fact picked, well, then Kohli's name was omitted, and the BCCI made very clear in their statement saying that they support him staying out of this series for personal reasons and that they were perfectly okay with the decision. Now, that was the extent of it as far as it was being addressed by the BCCI at least. But now we have some fresh new insight really on this entire matter, and it comes from none other than BCCI Secretary Jay Shah himself. Now, Jay Shah, it is worth noting, was speaking at an event at the Saurashtra Cricket Stadium, which has now been renamed the Niranjan Shah Stadium, and he was asked about Virat Kohli's leave of absence as well as quizzed on the fact as to what exactly would be the role that Kohli would be playing in the T20 World Cup. Now, what's interesting is that Shah actually defended Kohli in this regard, which shouldn't really come as a surprise given that the BCCI has publicly expressed on multiple occasions that they are very supportive of Kohli taking this break at this point in time and that there's been no pressure whatsoever on him to step into, let's say, the cricket field as long as things aren't going okay in his personal life. Yasha said that, look, Virat Kohli is not the kind of player to miss out on an entire tour just like that. It's one of the first times that's happened, and he's right about that. This is the first full Test series in over a decade that Kohli is missing. And he said that he should be given the space and be allowed to do so for personal reasons. And it basically reiterates the message that the BCCI have already sent out in this regard. They've said that, look, we are very supportive of his decision. Now Jay Shah has come out and said the exact same thing, saying that, no, perfectly okay. We should give him this space at this point in time. He also discussed a little bit about, let's say, the role that Virat Kohli would be playing. And while it's not divulging what exactly the role would be, he did add that we are going to have discussions with Kohli about the kind of role that he's expected to play at the T20 World Cup, hinting at the fact that as of right now, Kohli is still very much expected to play in the T20 World Cup that is going to be held right after the IPL. Now, this shouldn't come as too much of a surprise given that Jaisha also confirmed that Rohit Sharma would in fact be leading the side in the T20 World Cup because it was a given or an expectation among a lot of quarters that it was going to be Hardik Pandya who would be India's captain. But now, with Rohit Sharma being confirmed, he said as much that Rohit Sharma he's confident that Rohit will lead the team to glory in the T20 World Cup in Barbados. He made it very clear that it is Rohit. So with Rohit, you've brought him back Virat as well. But it's interesting to note that he hasn't divulged what his role would be, but said very clearly, we will be discussing his role. So that is what Jay Shah had to really say about Virat Kohli in this matter. It's a pretty interesting point to be hearing that he was so supportive of Kohli and saying that we will be discussing what his role is. So what are your thoughts on the matter? You can let us know that in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, leave us a comment, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Don't forget to download the Sports Tech app. And if you're already on the channel, well, right ahead, check out some other videos we've done as well.